The Brazilian economy is dominated by family business. Almost 65% of the GDP is provided by family businesses. I think it's no exaggeration to say that the future of the Brazilian economy is in the hands of family business leaders. And the good thing about that is I think they're in good hands. In a survey that we conducted of companies around the world, we looked at the companies, especially from Brazil, and found that almost about 25% of them have actually done better during the pandemic than they had previously. And the reason is because family businesses tend to be more conservative than other kinds of companies in how they run the business. They don't borrow as much debt. They don't hire as aggressively. Family businesses are better built to be resilient and to manage through difficult times like the one that we've all been experiencing. We found that almost 60% of the respondents believe that their employee engagement was actually higher than it was before the pandemic. A similar number are seeing greater amounts of operational efficiency. Almost 60% are also seeing new business opportunities. So it's a time of a lot of innovation, of reinvention of the core business. And almost 25% actually said that they expect to see a gain in market share coming out of the pandemic. There are many ways to define a family business. I think the best one is to think about a business where the family has control over the company. In a private business, family businesses can also be publicly traded, but in a situation where the family actually controls the voting shares or through some other way exercises control over decision-making of the business. Family businesses really are in all parts of the economy, but they tend to be concentrated in things like manufacturing, financial services, media companies quite extensively. I think the one place where we don't find family businesses nearly as extensive is in technology, because those are businesses that tend to require you to get to scale very fast to bring in outside investors. I think it still can be difficult to compete with the Silicon Valley businesses because they're built to really get to scale as quickly as possible. That's not something that family businesses are necessarily as good at. But when we're talking about incorporating technology and leveraging existing business models, we've seen a lot of success. One of the things that we've seen pretty consistently in talking to family businesses is the way in which the pandemic has forced them to be more entrepreneurial, more innovative, and in particular, bringing into the voices of the next generation into those conversations. I see a lot of examples of family businesses that are incredibly innovative because they have this generational time horizon. They want to make sure that the business is going to be around in 5, 10, 20 years. As family businesses are finding that they can embrace technology more effectively, it is enabling them, therefore, to compete a bit more with companies that have started digitally and more newer companies. One of the things the pandemic has really forced all companies and families to deal with is how do we use technology? How do we use technology to improve our business with e-commerce, using the internet as opposed to going to retail stores, but also how do we use technology to communicate, keep the family connected in a time when we can't be together in the ways that we were before. They're able to really plan for and invest and deal with changes that are going to pay off down the road, even though it's been a more difficult time in the short term.